performances this year. The countdown is inside 30 seconds for the start of the 7th of 16 races that will crown the 1993 AMA Camel Supercross champion. Man, they've all been shooting at most of this season. Number 15, Jeremy McGrath. What do you think? Is he going to get another hole shot?
Man, hole shot is his middle name. I'll be surprised when the gate drops the first corner if he's not leading the way.
Look for number 15 on the blood red Honda as they charge in. He's right there, but he's got Craig to deal with, and it's Craig who emerges with the advantage. McGrath got hung up on the outside. Into second spot goes Kedrowski. We see Jeff Stanton in the thick of it, and also Damon Bradshaw. Looks like a dogfight among the top-ranked stars of the series as they work lap 1. There's McGrath. Boy, he really got shuffled out back into the traffic, but now he comes storming back and reclaims, I'll call it, 5th spot.
We have not seen Jeremy McGrath in this position this season. He has taken the hole shots. He's opened up leads. Now we'll find out as he is chasing Kedrowski, Bradshaw, Stanton. He's got some tough customers to pass. Now we'll find out what the young man is made of.
Everybody has said all year, wait till he has to play catch-up. Here's Bradshaw, and he wastes no time catching up with and passing Mike Kedrowski to take over second spot. Bradshaw highly motivated when the series comes to the Southeast. His fans are here. He's won 2 in a row in Atlanta, and he quickly opens up the separation on Kedrowski, who's still looking for that first series win.
Bradshaw with 1 win this season. He did it in round 2 in Houston. Motivated because the series is starting to wind down. Mike Kedrowski in a similar position as is Jeff Stanton. Neither one of them winning this year, and as you have pointed out, Kedrowski never in his career. But Dave, the key here is we're reaching the midway point. McGrath has dominated. It's time for the veterans, the stars of the sport. Bradshaw, Kedrowski, Jeff Stanton. It's time for them to exert themselves and take some checkered flags here.
They've got 2nd, 3rd, and 4th spots all locked up for the moment. They're chasing Michael Craig, and number 15, McGrath, is back in 5th spot after what looked like it was going to be a good start went bad. Bradshaw trying to catch Michael Craig, whom you met just a moment ago and who has done a great job here tonight, grabbing the gate, opening up the interval, and now focusing on the racetrack, not thinking about who's behind him, just trying to cut smooth, cool, consistent laps.
If you're a first-year factory rider, if you're leading one of the big events in the world of Supercross, can you not think of who's behind you and what is going on, Dave?
Well, he's got 40 or 50,000 Georgians cheering him on. We'll be back with more of the action.
I watched what I ate.
A hot battle rages for 3rd spot in the Camel Supercross main event as number 1, the series champ Jeff Stanton comes alongside Kedrowski, and Kedrowski says no.
What we're seeing here in Atlanta that is different than what we have been watching all year long is an aggressive approach to racing on the part of all of the top guys. Before, it was only McGrath out front. He provided all the excitement and entertainment. Stanton seemed content to follow Bradshaw. They made, periodic runs, but they just were not consistent in their aggressiveness. They look a little bit more aggressive tonight.
You've got to be aggressive in this game. Oftentimes the tracks are a little tough to pass on. You got to be able to make that move. Got to be willing to stick the wheel in there. And Stanton showed signs a moment ago of that willingness as he works on Kedrowski. But now he's dropped back perhaps 5-6 yards and just kind of sits there parked on Kedrowski's rear wheel looking for a place to go. He's inside again. Bangs the front wheel. Now that's aggressive.
That was a block pass and a half. I think that, and here we go, trying a block pass of his own, came up just a little bit short, was Bradshaw onto Michael Craig. There's the battle for the number 1 position.
45,000 Georgians cheer Damon Bradshaw as he comes down through those series of big whoops and takes the lead. Bradshaw aggressively around Michael Craig and into the lead. Craig falls to 2nd. 3rd is Stanton. 4th is Kedrowski. And Damon Bradshaw looks like he's due to split. Here is Jeremy McGrath, your first look at number 15. Since the opening lap, he has closed up to Kedrowski's rear wheel. And now I think we'll see what Jeremy McGrath is made of. Can he pass these guys? He hasn't had to do that all year.
I promise you this, if I say he's going to make the pass, he won't. If I say he'll never make the pass, then he will. I'm not going to call a thing here, Dave.
That's why we call you the expert. Here's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th place battle, followed by 5th place McGrath. in the early laps of the Atlanta Supercross. A very, very competitive racetrack and a track on which we've seen some spectacular passes. Stanton is moving in now on Michael Craig. Craig's got to stay cool, not panic after the pass by Bradshaw, and keep focused in front of him and not behind him.
Craig is holding his ground there. He's not that far off the pace set by Bradshaw since making the pass, but you're absolutely right. If he looks behind him, then he's going to start riding defensively. And once you do that, two things happen. The leader gets away, and you, the man that is riding defensively, will start to use different lines, Dave, and that will interfere with his progress.
That'll also open a door for Stanton, who would like that second spot, and Kedrowski's coming right with him. Bradshaw working through lap traffic already, and that'll be a big issue before this night is out. The second, third, fourth, and fifth place battle raging. Bradshaw starting to draw away just a little bit from Michael Craig, who is indeed holding his ground pretty effectively over Jeff Stanton. We'll be back to see if Bradshaw can hang on for his third straight in Atlanta. The third and fourth ranked riders in the series. Jeff Stanton, currently third on the track, is fourth in the points. Kedrowski, conversely, is fourth on the racetrack, but third in the series standings, and part of a tight battle among Bradshaw, Kedrowski, and Stanton for the runner-up spot behind Jeremy McGrath. And that interval is holding steady. He's not getting away from Kedrowski.
No, indeed, he is not, and he's not losing ground to the guys in front of him. We're looking at a four-rider battle there, and McGrath is not that far off the pace. Anyone could win this race. It's not over yet.
Is Craig holding him up here?
I don't think so, because I don't see Bradshaw running away from Craig.
Michael Craig solid in that second spot, trying to keep Bradshaw in sight and at the same time keep Stanton at bay, and that's a tough task as they work the traffic. Here is Kedrowski, a couple of lengths behind Jeff Stanton. He's been parked there ever since Stanton came slamming by and whacked his rear wheel. Kedrowski would like nothing more than to return the favor as Stanton sits in the Kawasaki sandwich.
Yeah, he's in a peculiar position. He has to try to pass Craig. At the same time, he has to try to stay ahead of Kedrowski, and that means he's got to watch his front door and his back door. He's got his hands full.
Bradshaw looks to be drawing away just a little bit, and now Craig is going to leave the door open. He goes to the outside, coming into the right-hand turn. Stanton shoves the wheel in and bulls his way past. Oh, he just hammered him out of the way.
I think bulls was an apt description of that one. Stanton moved him over about 2 foot. We're going to take another look at this. There is no room. Stanton made some room, and I think he ran over Craig's foot in the process.
Well, Craig left just half enough space for him to get through, and Jeff said, I'll take the other half, thank you. And so Craig, now see Craig looking back over his shoulder at Kedrowski. He is going to back up. Kedrowski takes over the third spot, and look how Craig has lost his rhythm. He is now suddenly in a battle for fourth. The battle doesn't last long as Jeremy McGrath shoots right by. In a half a lap, he loses 3 spots.
Yeah, young rider. He made one mistake by leaving the door open, and I think he was thinking about it, and probably in his mind he says, I don't want to do that again, and bang, bang, he makes 2 more, kissing goodbye.
The problems compound, and that's the thing that makes Supercross so difficult. You've got to put yourself right out on that edge, and then you got to ride there the whole 20 laps. Jeremy McGrath has done it magnificently 4 weeks in a row. Tonight he's going for 5. It's going to take a minor miracle from here for him to get to the front.
Well, I think it's a miracle that he was able to hold on to that position. He's an impressive young rider. As you pointed out, the word was he's going to have trouble if he does not get a hole shot. He's hanging with those guys. Jeremy McGrath is very impressive here this evening.
Yeah, he's running where Bradshaw and Kedrowski and Stanton have been racing all year. I don't think it's any great condemnation of Jeremy McGrath to be sitting fourth in this kind of company. It's just so much different from what we've seen all year when he's been the front runner. There you see the interval from the Kawasaki of Mike Kedrowski back to the 4th place man, and up front the leader, Damon Bradshaw. But it looks like Jeff Stanton is beginning to reel him in as the laps begin to wind down. Stay with us for the finish of the Atlanta Supercross. I understand Marcia Bradshaw has been trying to motivate the kid this week.
Yeah, she told me earlier, she said, I'm tired as we're looking at a 4-second advantage for Bradshaw. I'm tired of him coming in second and third. I want to see some wins, and probably she threatened to take some of his toys away. I don't know.
Bradshaw is enjoying that 4-second margin. but I get the sense that Stanton may have a charge left here. He'll periodically make a run at the young man who's been up and down in Atlanta. Remember, he was injured here in his rookie season, and a lot of people think that may have been the thing that prevented the first ever rookie Supercross championship. By the time he came back, the leaders were gone, and Stanton went on to win the title. Here you got to look at that interval as Bradshaw works his way through that set of whoops. You see Stanton with the lap rider behind him. If he's closing, he's not closing fast.
Well, it's a kind of track, Dave, where you can make up great gobs of territory, or vice versa, you can lose great gobs all in one fell swoop. It's a fast track. It's a good, safe track. And Stanton now, as we see him, is riding it very methodically. I'm not saying that he has cut that charge down, but I think that he has resigned himself to picking the right ruts and just trying to keep things going in a straight line. You see, look at the look on Dan Betley's face as he is saying the same thing. Jeff has cut down his aggressiveness. He's no longer charging, and he's letting Damon go away. But I think Jeff is thinking anything can happen up front. I'm going to be calm and cool and see if it does.
Well, now, if I interpreted Betley's body language and facial expression accurately, I think he might have been voting for perhaps a bit more aggression from Jeff Stanton. And we've seen that expression a time or two before. Betley is among those who wonders sometimes where the aggressiveness that earned Stanton 3 championships has gone. Stanton remains cool. He says, I know what I'm doing. I've won this thing before. I'm going to win it again. And I'm not going to argue with it.
Yeah, we're not even at the midway mark of the season yet. So we're looking at 4, maybe even 5 guys in there that can make a run at the title. A lot of events, a lot of points left. Right now, it's Damon Bradshaw's turn. He has turned in what I think is a flawless race here this evening.
Well, he's had the crowd behind him from the get-go. From the moment they did rider introductions, it was clear that these 45,000 Southeastern fans wanted to see a Damon Bradshaw win. They wanted to christen the new stadium in the same fashion we saw in the swan song of the old one, and I don't think Stanton's in a position to do much about it at this point. He's going to have to make a major charge if he's going to pull this one out. We'll be right back. The Georgia Dome in Atlanta is winding down, and Damon Bradshaw is in clear command. The anticipated charge from Jeff Stanton has not materialized, and so for the second time this season, it looks like Bradshaw is going home a winner. Here you see the interval back to the second place man. Stanton is all by himself in that runner-up spot. Mike Kudrowski has not been able to mount a charge from third. There is Motocross Mike, and that's going to leave Jeremy McGrath fourth place finisher here tonight, unless something dramatic happens in the last couple of laps. All Bradshaw.
Well, the lead trio pretty much ran away in the final laps, or closing laps, from Jeremy McGrath. And I don't know if that's telling us anything or not. We're on a white flag. Last lap, Mike Kudrowski is still charging after Jeff Stanton, but I think those first 3 positions are secure.
Well, they've had 19 laps to put together whatever charge they might have mustered here this evening, and frankly, Kudrowski and Stanton haven't had much to offer, and as a result, it's been Damon Bradshaw's show since he slithered past Michael Craig, the early leader, when Craig bobbled early on, succumbed to the pressure, and handed off to this man who certainly wants to finally pull out that series championship. The championship that got away from him in rather unceremonious fashion last year. 9 victories in 1992, still finishing in the number 2 position when the final points were tallied. And I think this year, because of that performance, I think everyone was prepared at the beginning of the season to say, Damon, all you got to do is get out there on the racetrack and you are going to be champ. Hasn't worked out that way. Supercross is always filled with surprises. Tonight there is no surprise. Bradshaw wins over Stanton in the Georgia Dome, and a huge crowd roar their approval for the man they consider to be the local favorite. Charlotte is about 4 hours up the road. A lot of folks have come down here tonight, and conversely, a lot of these Atlanta folks will go north to Charlotte.